Hello, hello. My name is Jake. I am a regression hypnotist as well as a level 2 qhht practitioner. For those who are new to the channel or who aren't familiar, I use past life regression hypnosis to help my clients connect to their subconscious, also called their higher self, find physical or emotional or energetic healing, reduce stress, anxiety, deal with fears and phobias, gain clarity on relationships and career, connect with loved ones and guides, as well as much, much more. There's so much information and answers to be found by exploring this deep part of your mind and memories that are not often accessed consciously. I guide my clients through this experience by working with their higher self on the quantum level through past lifetimes, the current lifetime, or parallel lifetimes. Now, one such lifetime that I explored was with one of my clients, Gabby, where she was a energy healer in Lemuria. So before we get into it, feel free to check out my website, link in the description below if you want more information about my practice. Otherwise, let's jump into it. So for part 2 of this energy worker series, I really wanted to bring an example of a different kind of energy worker, one more focused on healing. And if you haven't watched part 1, I'll make sure to link that in the description box below as well. I really believe that the more that we can talk about these gifts that we have access to in the past, the more that we can step into those gifts in the present. Humanity really needs healers and guides who are able to assist with the profound transformation happening on this planet at this time. And everyone's contribution, I believe, is going to be unique and based on their own abilities as well as experiences, this lifetime and others. Stay tuned in this video to hear about Gabby's gifts in her past life in Lemuria, as well as a message of why this lifetime is so important for us now. All right, so for those not familiar, Lemuria is similar to Atlantis. It's often described as an epoch of history, but one that took place before the time of Atlantis. There's lots of opinions and ideas surrounding this period, and my general understanding and opinion of it is that just like Atlantis, Lemuria was not one city or one country. It was the name of the majority of the known world at that time, and it stretched across many thousands of years. Now, I believe that this was a period of greater enlightenment and connection to the natural world as well as to energy. We could honestly talk forever about Lemuria and all of the research and the thoughts of many different experts on the subject. Let me know if you'd like me to make a video focusing on Lemuria as a whole and more of the hidden history of that period. It's such a fascinating topic for me, and I'd really love to know if you'd like that kind of content as well. Let me know in the comments below. All right, so today's focus is Gabby's lifetime as an energy healer. When we first settled into this lifetime, she described working in a temple that played a very important role in the work that she and the other healers did for their community. So let me share with you her description of the power of this structure, this temple that she resided in, and then we'll get into the story of the lifetime.
This place is very powerful. It can heal people, and has a lot of energy. Somehow the way it's built, it has a lot of energy. And so just being there charges your energy. Then let me see, I don't know if I learned it or if I had it. Both. I learned how to heal, but I also had that with me.
All right, so as you heard, this temple was built in a very specific, deliberate way to channel energy. Many of you are probably familiar with the pyramids, especially those in Egypt, and the idea that those structures were constructed to direct and amplify energy and frequency in different ways. Many people also talk about the healing power of the King's Chamber in the Great Pyramid, and I was definitely reminded of this parallel when Gabby was describing this amazing temple and what the structure itself did. She went on to describe the temple structure as a very large white building featuring these huge arches that form kind of an open air structure. Sounded almost like a pavilion. I don't know if that's the perfect word, but like a pavilion type structure with these archways, and very open to the air. As she shared in the clip, she had this gift of healing innately, but she also learned to develop it while living in the temple. And that through the structure, she was able to recharge her energy. She also shared that there were not many healers there. It was a small community of healers, and they helped each other and learned from each other, along with cooperating on daily tasks and chores. She described being identified when she was young, that she had this gift of healing, and that when you were chosen, you then lived in that temple. You became a part of that group. She did distinguish and describe the differences, though, between this group of healers and, say, like a priesthood or certain religious orders. She described them having more free will and freedom than these kind of orders, and that they didn't take any vows or anything like that. They were there because they wanted to help. And she was quick to point out that they knew when to stop, though, and how to protect their energy and not overgive when they were healing people. She said that people could be clingy, and that it was important to know your own limits. This was especially interesting given the scene that we were about to witness. All right, sorry guys if that humming sound was loud. I forgot to turn off the air conditioner before I started recording. Hopefully it doesn't interfere too much. It seems like you can hear me pretty well. All right, anyway. When I asked her what she was doing here on this particular day, she shared that there was more and more people coming. They were trying to help everyone, but the crowd was gathering and it kept growing. I asked if they had to turn people away then. If this crowd was growing so big, did they have to refuse people healing? And she said no. She said that it was too hard to do that, so they just helped them. But that this led to an imbalance. I asked her to tell me more about that, and she clarified that because they were helping everyone, they didn't have the time to take care of themselves, to recharge their own energy. The amount of people who were coming came because the word got out about the healing taking place at this temple, and more people from places far and wide came to seek their help. They didn't have more healers joining their ranks quickly enough to keep up with this influx of people. The healers in the temple didn't know what to do or how to solve this problem. They were all tired, and yet the people continued to come needing healing. She described next that the people wanted to take control of the temple, which they felt belonged to them because it was on their land. So the people of this community, some of the leaders of this community decided that, you know what, we're taking over this temple because it's our land and we want it. They thought that they could heal without the healers, that the temple structure was all that they needed. They thought that this place, that this structure, this temple was all that there was to the miraculous healing that was happening. Gabby pointed out at this point that these people didn't know how to take care of it, to charge it, the temple. They just wanted it for themselves. Next, she shared that the healers had gathered and they were trying to evaluate what would be best to do next, what steps to take next. And what they decided on was that they needed to take that crystal, that crystal from the top of the temple, and they needed to leave with it. She said that they left at night and that the people were so focused on the structure itself that they didn't even care or notice that the healers left with the crystal. They clearly didn't know the value that this crystal held or the value of the healers themselves. They truly were coming from this place of greed and wanting control over the temple, And that was really blinding them to the truth of the situation. All right, I asked her what happened next. What happened after the healers left? So let me share her response because I think it's interesting.
We didn't build a new structure.
Okay.
I feel it's better that way. They're gonna find us otherwise. And the history will keep on repeating. So no, we form a community and we just project light. And we heal from the distance. And so anyone that needs the healing gets that from far away. Or we don't see people anymore.
So as you heard, they didn't build a large temple or any grand structure. They kept themselves hidden and they worked their healing from a distance. Although they continued to help and heal those that needed it, they did it from behind the scenes by spreading light. She went on to describe the small gated community that they had built in the woods, the humble houses that really would not attract attention because they didn't want history to repeat itself. I was curious to know if she knew where this place was, where they settled down, in a geographical sense. I didn't know where or when in time and space they were at this point, and I'm always curious to be able to uncover that kind of information. So let me share her response, because I think it's pretty interesting.
I think it doesn't exist anymore. Let me ask. It was Lemuria.
Lemuria, a place that doesn't exist anymore. And, as so many experts have said before, there's evidence that we've had multiple cataclysmic events throughout history. These huge earth changes in the past, times where the earth dramatically shifts, including both geography and the consciousness of humanity. Lemuria was another time, and the earth was different. Although the geographical location might be buried under the sea somewhere, it isn't someplace that we could visit today. We moved on at this point to the last day in this lifetime, because there's often important information to find in the last moments of our lives. My client shared that she was at peace. Although there were no new healers, their work was ending, and it was okay. Again, just at peace with what was happening. There really was this sense of resignation in her voice, but not in like a disappointment kind of a way. Her one concern at this point was that the crystal was safe. And she shared that they had buried it, and because it was secure, they were at peace and ready to pass on. Now, quick side note, I, as I'm sure many of the viewers of this video are as well, am an avid crystal lover, and I'm always interested when crystals come up in sessions. If you've seen my ET Lives video, crystals came up there as a energy source or as something that was being mined as a mineral on planets. So check that video out if you haven't. Anyway, I think that the ways that crystals have been used and worked with are only just beginning to be understood again. And there's really so much to be learned from this kind of lost knowledge, this information that we're able to gather in this way. Many people have uncovered information about the wide variety of past civilizations and the ways that they've used crystals to produce, direct, and focus energy. I obviously can't go super deep into this subject in this video, but I did want to mention it. All right, so back to the story. After she had died, after this healer had died, as I do with most of my clients, I asked her from this perspective what was the purpose and what were the lessons that she was learning in that lifetime. She shared that she was learning balance, to take care of herself, but that she was only beginning to learn this lesson, that it wasn't complete. She said that she had a hard time with the people who clung on to her, and that she struggled to maintain this balance between giving and receiving. The purpose of that lifetime, from her perspective, was to be of service to others and to herself. But when that balance tilted, she stopped being of service to herself. Now I'd love to share with you what her higher self, what her subconscious's perspective was on why they picked this lifetime for her to see. And then after we listen to that, I'll share my thoughts on the matter.
Yeah, I picked the life of the healer because she'll understand that it's part of what she's experiencing now. It's what people clings to her again. Mm-hmm. It's just because they see the healer in her. It's okay. And we're proud that she is now setting boundaries. It's okay to say no.
Like you heard them say, this was shown to her because of the parallels with this current lifetime and the ways that she continued to learn this lesson of balance now. They shared that they were proud of her for setting the boundaries that she has and saying no in this lifetime. Now, I don't think that Gabby is the only one learning that particular lesson. I know that I have struggled with it. Whether you are a healer, a teacher, an intuitive, or even a parent or caregiver, it can be so challenging to say no or to put up boundaries with those who are needing your help. Especially for healers, it takes a lot of energy to heal others, regardless of your modality. Whether you practice hypnosis like me, or Reiki, massage, herbalism, sound healing, yoga, or even if you're a more mainstream healer, such as a nurse or a doctor, you've likely faced this lesson or are facing it now. There are so many people who need healing. This world is hurting so much right now. And it really can be so easy to fall into that trap of helping beyond your limits. When you care about people, you can be pulled to help beyond what you should. Now, I think that one of the things to remember is that our job as healers is, yes, to heal, but beyond that is to remind people that they have the power to heal themselves, that they are powerful, that they have agency, and that they have access to the same universal energy that healers do. They don't need to be victims. And they can choose the ways that they react and act in their life. They can choose how to view their situation. I'm not saying that we don't all need help or guidance along that path of healing at one time or another. It is absolutely necessary to get the help of a healer at times. And there's no shame or judgment in that. Like we saw in that lifetime, though, there must be a balance. And is just as much the healer's responsibility as it is the patient. It can be easy for those who may be struggling to give their power away. So as healers, we have responsibility in this as well. Now, another important piece of the message here, I think, is how vital it is for everyone to step into their gifts and their powers. Although I know not everyone is meant to be a healer, trust me, I know not everyone is, I believe that those that are called are needed now. Because the more healers we have of all modalities, the more that we can share the responsibility of healing and helping humanity. So, remember, whether you're a healer or not, maintain that balance. Take care of yourself. Recharge when you need, and have boundaries that you stick to. You'll be a better healer, a better teacher, guide, parent, a better human for it. All right. Share down in the comments if you've had similar experiences where you have noticed an imbalance in energy exchange, or share how you recharge yourself and keep that balance. I always love hearing from folks, and I think it's so important when we share the knowledge that we have with each other. Also, don't forget to hit that like button if you enjoyed this video, and subscribe to my channel so you aren't missing any of my future posts. I look forward to sharing more stories about energy work, as well as the other wide variety of experiences that I guide my clients through in my sessions. All of the love and light to you. Bye for now.